It's time for another 13th Floor Music Talk interview. I'm Marty Duda, and today I'm talking to Stephen Pope, bass player for power pop punk band Wavves. The band's new album, Hideaway, their seventh, is due out July 16th. I spoke to Stephen about a week before its release, and he told me how they struggled to make this record, recording and scrapping one version before hooking up with TV on the Radio's Dave Sitek and making Hideaway. Check it out. As a band, I mean, you guys have been around. This is your seventh album that you're putting out. How much discussion was there about putting this album out on July 16th when all this was going on? Were you considering postponing it longer, having it happen sooner, or what?
It was definitely planned to be sooner. And part of that is COVID, and part of that is us. We started recording, we started recording an album to be the next album, I think end of 2018.
Right.
And we recorded pretty much the whole thing. And before we got to the mixing stage, I think we had a bunch of songs that we liked, but it wasn't the right vibe of recording. So we scrapped it.
But that's pretty major.
It could be major, but if you put out a really shitty album, it could be major too.
So. Fact. Well, it's just amazing that you guys could come together and come to that conclusion without killing each other.
It was hard because it's hard to, you want to be polite to everybody that's having a creative input. You don't want to say like, I don't like that. But I think it became apparent that I don't think it was any person's fault. I think I think we tried to go a cheap route, and we just got a studio that wasn't very good, and the sounds were just off.
Right.
So, and then we had been talking with Dave Sitek during that whole time. Right. And he's like, guys, I have a studio in my house and I'm 10 minutes away. So we're like, we would be fools not to go and try to record with Dave Sitek of TV on the Radio, Grammy award-winning guy. So
did you have a relationship with him before this, or did it just come up out of you meet him?
Just like DMs and sending memes and stuff back and forth. But like we were friendly, and he had I think that's another reason why it worked with him, is that he was obviously, I don't want to say he was a fan, but it was clear that he liked what we were doing. And sometimes you can go into a studio situation with a producer who has no idea who you are and might not even like your music. He's just a producer. And so it was, once we got with Dave Sitek, it was like he was very invested in the whole process. He wrote or co-wrote 3 of the songs, and especially if you co-wrote 3 of the songs, you are going to try to make them as good as they can be.
Right.
And so we did that and recorded with Dave. That would be sort of end of 2019. So the plan was to put the album out, I think, summer 2020. And that,
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, like it just would have, we would have released it and then not toured on it or anything, and unless we just got lucky, it would have probably just kind of faded.
Yep.
So we patiently waited, and
cool.
And I think it's also a good thing we waited, because the vinyl production stuff is so backed up now. I think if we had gone ahead with the summer 2020, we would have been putting out the vinyl this year.
Anyway.
Yeah. So it worked out, I think.
Very cool. So as a band, you guys have been around a while. Like I said, this is your 7th album. And it sounds like you're still like pretty hungry for everything to go well and to be big and Has anything changed as far as the band's attitude when you release an album like this?
I I I think we care more,
Right.
strangely. Like usually with jobs, you know, as time goes by, you start caring less. But I don't think we had experience knowing like what sounded good and what didn't. We were just amazed that what we were playing was recorded. So we're like, whoa. And now that I think we've recorded a bunch, I think maybe we're slightly more concerned with tone, just like the tone of the guitars, how the drums sound. So I think we just kind of care a little more in that respect. And I think I don't know if it's a getting older thing or being embarrassed of our past lyrics, but I think our lyrics have evolved and are just I think they're just better now than they used to be. So I think we put more thought into it, and they're a little more personal and just have more depth to them now.
Now, I know songwriting wise, like you said, Dave co-wrote a few songs, and of course, Nathan does quite a bit of the writing, but you two also contribute, and you have a tune on the album called Honeycomb.
Yes.
So when you come up, are you writing specifically for the band, or is this how does it work from your point of view?
I can't feel on my fingers. I don't know if I need them. I don't know where they are. I try to move a wall, but everything goes wrong, and I can't find anyone.
I mean, I guess you could say it's specifically for the band because I'm not writing for any other bands or anything. So,
right.
But I just, it's been my hobby for 15 years, just writing songs. So I have just an arsenal of demos ranging from very shitty to not so shitty. So, and, I think on Honeycomb, you can probably hear it. I think I was listening to a lot of Velvet Underground. So I think I ripped off like 4 Velvet Underground songs and then combined them into one. And,
you know what they say, if you're going to steal from the best.
Yeah, like the bass line is not the same, but I use the same technique as Walk on the Wild Side, where I play the root and it's like the 7th or the 9th or something at the same time.
Right.
And I stole that from Velvet Underground, Lou Reed. And lyrically, I think it's way sadder and more self-deprecating than I thought it was when I was writing it.
Right.
But I do like that because I've always related to more personal songs that, you know, they don't have to be straightforward, but I like it when a song is personal. I don't like it so much when somebody's just like telling a story about a fictional character doing something that they don't have any like emotional connection to.
Right. So. And correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, it felt like when I was listening to Honeycomb that the arrangement was more kind of elaborate than the usual Wavves track that's on the album. Is that a fair statement or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And why did that happen?
I think a lot of this album is different, like way different from what we've done in the past, with arrangement wise and just sort of even genre wise. I think we were really trying to step out of our element, and I was intentionally trying not to do just a punk like verse chorus thing.
Yeah.
So
And do you think about your audience? Do you go, oh, I hope our fans are going to hang on to us here?
I probably should, but no, I don't really. I don't have an audience in mind when I'm writing songs. Really, I write just what I'm feeling at the time.
Yeah. Now I'm guessing when you're out on the road and you're promoting the record, you have quite a communication with your audience. What is that like when you meet up with people?
Overwhelming, but also I'm extremely grateful for that.
Right.
I've always been used to sort of being a loser and being shy and people not caring about what I do, or
right.
And there is a comfort in that when you can kind of hide in the shadows and do what you want.
Right.
So now it is since I think I grew up in that mentality where I didn't think anybody cared or was listening. It is overwhelming when somebody comes up and they're like your song saved my life.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful and appreciative, but I think I'm also so awkward that I don't know how to respond.
Gotcha. Now I noticed there's a video for the title track for Hideaway. It involves some sporting elements to it, bowling and golfing.
Yes.
Tell me the story behind the video. Is there one?
There is, and there's another video coming out soon. It's a 3-part video sequence, and I think everything wraps up in the 3rd video.
Okay.
Nathan had more to do with that. He's good friends with the director of the video, this guy named Jesse Lirola.
Okay.
And they put together a whole concept of the video that was loosely kind of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like right. Just elements of that.
Yeah.
And then once we started actually recording the video, it ended up being sort of like recording an album. Like it evolved and new ideas seeped in and stuff. And we kind of just got lucky, and we were filming in Joshua Tree, the desert outside right. of Los Angeles. And because of COVID, everything was shut down. So there's this, like, we thought a bowling element would be good just visually, and I wanted to go bowling. I haven't been bowling in a long time. So
what's your average?
It sucks now. I took a bowling course in college and I bowled over a 200 one time.
Nice
but
one.
Now I bet I'm lucky if I break 100.
There you go. Well, yeah, so, something you got to keep doing.
Yeah.
You took a bowling course in college.
Yeah, you know, you have to take a certain number of electives that don't mean anything.
I just amazed that would even exist, but there you go.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So what's ahead for the band once the record's out on the 16th, which is just next week? Crikey.
I know. We are planning a tour, and I think it's coming together. I think every single band and their mothers are trying to book tours right now because
it's going to be very crowded on the road in about 2 months.
Yes.
I think.
So we haven't gotten it finalized, and I think we're going to end up playing different towns than we usually play, which is right. exciting. So that's sort of an advantage for us, and it's an advantage for smaller towns because I think they're going to get a lot of shows that they don't usually get, because the big towns, the venues are just booked every day.
Yeah. Yep.
So hopefully we get that finalized soon, and we'll do a full US fall tour. And As far as I know, I think we're still doing the Australia King of the Beach reunion tour, but we've postponed that so many times, and I'm sure people are furious.
I'm sure they are.
But I think it's happening.
All right,
So that'll be next year.
Sounds like
early next
full
year.
steam ahead. All things getting back to normal, which is kind of a relief, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
I mean, I spent the last year just talking to poor musicians stuck in their room, just going, what am I? I haven't played in front of anybody in months. So
I'm terrified, but I also I need it to stay sane, because this I don't know. I spent my whole life just being in music venues. I just need to be inside of a music venue and step on sticky floors and like
you know where you stand there.
Yeah.
That's good. Exactly. Fantastic. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully you can come down to New Zealand and visit us here. Be cool.
Hope so. I love Auckland. I think, is the King's Arms, is that in Auckland?
It used to be right around the corner from me. It closed down about 2 or 3 years ago.
That was a great venue.
But we have the Power Station, which you guys would be awesome at, right around the corner as well. So
cool.
I highly recommend it.
I hope to see you there.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Much. You too.
Bye-bye.